Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Thanks for coming back for another week of daily creative challenges for Photoshop. Yeah, Ilya, let's get it started. I totally agree. Welcome. It is day 5, and I am your host, Kathleen Martin. If you are just joining for the first time, let me introduce myself super quickly. I often host these Adobe Live things, but I'm also a designer on the Adobe Studio team, focusing on instructional design. So hopefully my instructions will help you, because it is my job. What's up, Desiree? If you are just joining the chat, say hello. Sokil, hello. Nice to see you. I'd love to give you a shout out. And as always, hear what you're drinking for your breakfast beverage. I am back on my latte grind. Even the barista this morning was like, wow, I didn't see you for a while. It's like, yeah, I was trying out coffee for a little bit. It was a wild ride. What's up, Sam? Kathleen, Marsha? Really, really good to see you. I was thinking about you all weekend. Really excited to see what you're going to be creating over the weekend. Maybe you were catching up with your previous challenges, or maybe you were just practicing for maybe what day 5 was going to be. Richard, hello. Laura, hi. Lindsay, good to see you. So if you are totally new, I'll just take you through the Daily Creative Challenge thing real quick. This is a 2-week challenge, and like I said, this is the first day of week 2, so we'll be ending this Friday. Oh my gosh, it's coming up so quickly. So you can join. Each day you'll receive a challenge. So today's challenge is mock-ups. Ooh, we're gonna take our designs, bring them into the real world, and see how they'll look in context. This is super helpful if you're presenting for like a client. If they want to see their website actually on a computer screen, they might be a little more apt to say, yeah, that looks pretty good, because it'll look real in their minds. People always want to see the context of your work, whether it's a poster mocked up on a wall, an enamel pin mocked up as an enamel pin, etc. What's up, Lamb? Ryan, hello. Good to see you, Daniel. So this is really important in the design process. And we're going to be touching on a couple different things. We're going to be touching on just how to build your own mock-ups from scratch. Maybe you take your own photo and you want to use that. That's often pretty helpful if you want to have your own kind of customized stuff. I'll also show you how to find mock-up templates on Adobe Stock and within Photoshop. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about retouching. So especially if you take your own photo for a mock-up, there might be some things out of place on your desk that you want to get rid of just to perfect it. So I'll show you some stuff about that. So we're going to jump in here, and then after I am offline in about 20 minutes, Paul Tranny is going to be up talking about Adobe XD. So that is screen design, UX design, pretty similar to what we're going to be working on today. Oh, Ariana, good. Just grab some good old coffee. Roman, hello. Good to see you all. Okay, so let's jump on in. But before we do that, I do want to remind you all that we do have a beautiful Discord server. And I have been really enjoying this tips and tricks channel that we have made. I think we made it late last week. So this is an awesome place for you to share your tips and tricks that you love to use in Photoshop. Tim has been a total beast and has been just creating these tutorials all by himself. Really amazing. So you should go to the Discord channel in the server just to see these, because they are very, very cool. You can always click see original. Zoom in, learn some stuff. So if you want to join the server, it's bit.ly/P Discord. So PS Discord. Very cool. So after the stream today, I'm going to be touching on this a little bit at the end, but I'm going to be doing some feedback, vocal feedback in the Discord channel. So if you are going to be posting your work in design feedback from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., so 2 hours after the stream. If you post your work for feedback from day 5, I will then come on the server at 11, and then I'm going to be working through the feedback vocally by clicking on this mentor feedback channel. I'll talk more about that at the end, but it's going to be cool. I'm very excited to try it out. Okay, let's go into Photoshop, shall we? So this is where we're going to end up today. I have mocked up my social media banner from Friday, and I've put it on a laptop. I've done a couple of different things to retouch, although you probably can't tell because you don't know what existed here beforehand. But just trust me when I say you'll see. And we've provided a template for you all, and that includes all of like social media sizes and also shows you where to place your graphics if you want them to appear when they're actually placed in social media. So for example, for a Twitter banner, the dimensions are 1500 by 500, but you don't see all of those when you actually look at the banner because it needs to be agile and dynamic, so when you resize things. So it'll show you like if you have copy or type within your design where to put it to make sure that it is able to be seen in the banner. So if you want to check out that link, I think it is included in the challenge on the Discord and also on the website. Very, very cool. I'll actually show you that super quick so you can know what I'm talking about. So this is the link, and if you have trouble opening the template link that we've provided, you can always go to your Finder or your Start menu and just drag it onto Photoshop, and that should open it a little bit easier. It's thinking, it's thinking. Let's update that, shall we? So like I said, this will really show you where to place things so that you can see them. And I'm going to be using the Twitter header image today to mock up onto a laptop. But as you'll see, there's stuff for Instagram, so if you want to mock up your design for Instagram and then place it like on a phone, that's totally okay. I would love to see you get creative about your mock-ups, where you place them. It could go on Tumblr, WordPress, whatever you would like. Video banner for YouTube, awesome. So I'm personally going to be showing you how to make a mock-up out of just my own custom image that I found on stock, or you could do it from a photo that you take literally with your phone or your camera. But if you don't want to do that, you can find mock-ups within the new document window if it opens. Let's see, so if you go over to web and you look down in templates, you can see like there's a cover photo for Facebook template. There's a professional desk mock-up, so you could throw an image within this laptop. This one might be a good one. It's probably built to be able to throw a mock-up in there. And then this is the one that we've provided for you. So if you would also like to find it within Photoshop, there you go. So you can always find them there. Or if you want to find your own images on stock, it's super easy to do within Photoshop. All you have to do is make sure that you have your libraries panel open. Check, is open. And then over here, here's my libraries panel, over here on the right. If your drop down says Adobe Stock right here and you search, for example, monitor, it will search through Adobe Stock and give you a bunch of options of monitors that you could pull onto your document. You can place it and then place your social media within there. It's pretty cool. I love how you can access stock within Photoshop. It's amazing. What's up, Victoria? Oh, you had to do so many mock-ups when you were in university. You even bought some. Victoria, thank you for buying them and supporting your fellow creators. This is actually a pretty cool way to make some cash on the side if you design your own mock-ups and then provide them, because everyone kind of uses the same ones online, so if you can provide some new ones, might be great. All right, so like I said, this is where we're landing at the end, and first of all, I'm going to show you how to get your image from Friday onto social media. Now, this is just a screenshot of my Twitter page. Welcome, this is my Twitterverse, and I just want to place the image that I made on Friday within the banner space here. So what I have done is I have selected where my header image is, and I've made a mask. So as you can see, it knocks out my header image, and then you can place your image from day 4 below it, and there you go. You have a Twitter mock-up. It's pretty easy. And like I said, you could use any social media you want. You could use Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Taking a screenshot is super easy. If you're on a PC, I'm pretty sure you just click print screen. And then on a Mac, I usually do Shift-Command-4. I'll actually show you that real quick. Let's turn that on. Great. So if you do Shift-Command-4, you'll notice I have this little crosshairs, and that will allow you to drag and create your screenshot. You can also hold space, whoa, and decide where you want to screenshot from there. All you have to do is release the mouse and it'll take a screenshot and take it to your desktop. Really easy. Victoria says, I was thinking of making a mock-up of a poster in a German city. Most mock-ups I found had American sizes. Oh, there you go. Please make a custom one. I love that. So the way that I got my image in here from day 4 is I just went up to File, I did Place Linked, and then you can navigate to your file you'd like to place it, and just position it however you see fit. Cool, so let's pop this onto a monitor and get going. Oh, thank you, Andy. Alt-GR. GR, I wonder, is it just literally GR? Oh, Alt-Grab. Maybe? Let me know, I'm not a PC person anymore. Oh, thank you, Tim. I know, Roman. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here is the stock image that I have chosen. It's pretty simple. You can always choose an image that's a little more specific to what you're creating. So like if we're creating a video game, maybe you could find like a gaming monitor. I thought this worked though, since it's just social media. It's a coffee bar. That's a place where people use social media, right? And it already has the screen all whited out and ready for me to place my image into, but if your screen is, say, dark or it has shadows on it, you can always just draw a white box over the screen, and it might be helpful for you. Alrighty, so let us place our Twitter image. I'm just gonna go File, Place Linked. There we go. And here's what I like to do when I'm building these kind of mock-ups. I like to size it down about the size of the screen, but I'll keep it a little bit bigger. If I have to choose between bigger or smaller, I will choose bigger because we will probably have to make it smaller to fit into it, and I would hate to make it smaller and then stretch the pixels, you know? So let's fit it about to the size of the screen, about to the rotation that we need. And this is where some retouching and transform magic comes into play. I'm just gonna hit Enter to confirm my changes. I'm gonna zoom in a bit by pressing Command+. Whoops. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my social media image and make it multiply. So it's a little easier to see the actual stock image behind it. And since we have a white screen, this works, because multiply is gonna knock out those light pixels. And then from here, making sure that I have my Twitter image layer selected. What's up, Samuel? Good to see you. I'm gonna go up to Edit, Transform, and my favorite, Distort. Let's distort this baby. So this is gonna make a kind of transform bounding box appear, and you'll notice when I grab a corner, just clicking and holding, it's distorting the image, just as it said it would. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, using space and dragging to move around my screen. And I don't really think I need this top kind of Mac systems bar, so I'm just gonna make sure that that's cropped out. I don't think it's super necessary. It's as if the web browser is full screen. All right, grabbing this and just matching it to the size of the laptop. There's nothing super magical about this. It can be this easy. It's almost as easy as just using a template. And grabbing this one, dragging it there, and just making sure that it looks good. What do we think? Is our mock-up done? Pretty much. Okay, so I'm gonna confirm my changes by hitting return. Looks pretty good. Sometimes if you're making a mock-up, you might turn down the opacity a little bit, or you can always change your blend modes depending on what looks best. The key for a mock-up is just that it looks good to the eye. There is no real set in stone technique to make this work well. So just keep moving it around, messing with it until it looks right. Another good key for mock-ups is not making huge changes, kind of doing very nuanced things using a light hand. If you're using the brush tool, you might want to turn down your opacity quite a bit, just so things don't look too harsh. Oh, Kareem, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so before we jump into retouching, let's take a beverage break. Take a little sip. What's up, Gretchen? From Los Angeles. How's the weather down there? Still raining. Abraham says maybe some shadows or glare. That's a great idea. So I'm going to show you a little bit about dodging and burning, which will add highlights or kind of burn away highlights. So you could totally use those to add highlights or glare. Is there any challenge for today? Yes, Adolfo, we are making mock-ups from our challenge on day 4. So I'm working through mine right now, and I'm really excited to see yours when you post them. Maybe the opacity 90% would be more realistic. All right, let's try it. The cool thing about opacity and a lot of sliders in Photoshop is that you can either click and just drag up and down to decrease and increase, or you can just hit, say, 9D, you can type it in. It's pretty easy. I'm just gonna bump it up a little bit more because I wanna make sure that the darkness, the blacks in this mock-up kind of match the darkness and the shadows of the image behind it. Okay, so here comes some retouching. We're gonna use the infamous, not infamous, I guess it's famous, content aware fill to just get rid of this phone. I don't like how it has smudges on the screen. It looks kind of like it was just placed there just to fill up the space, and I'm not sure we really need it. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's get rid of this phone in a really easy manner. First thing I'm going to do is going to make sure my background layer, the one that I'm working on with the phone, is not locked anymore. A lot of times your background layer will still be locked and have a lock icon, so you can just double click on the layer and that will unlock it. And then it's always smart sometimes to, that doesn't make sense. It's always smart to make a copy of your bottom layer. And you can always just turn it off, just in case you really mess up. You really mess up, and you can just go back to your original. So we're on our laptop layer. I'm gonna use my lasso tool. Gonna make a selection, and that's just gonna be the phone, and make sure to include any shadows of the image that you wanna get rid of. Because if you get rid of the phone and the shadow's still there, did you really get rid of the phone? Not really. All right, I'm just gonna change that a bit. Make sure I have everything selected. Cool, that looks good. So let's magically get rid of this phone. The thing you're gonna do is go up to Edit, and then once you have a selection active, Content Aware Fill will then become active. So let's click that. Let's edit Content Aware Fill, and it brings up this cool menu. It's similar to the Select and Mask menu, where you have options over on the right, and you see previews over here on the left. So as you can see, this screen on the right is the finished product that we're going to end up with, and this on the left is showing what area is the Adobe Sensei technology taking into account when it is pulling in ideas for what to fill here. Basically what this is doing is it's looking at the entire image and it's saying, if we get rid of this, what are we going to fill it in with? Luckily we have this large white table, so it has a lot of good information on things that it should fill in with. Oh, everyone's talking about weather in the chat. Nice. Love that small talk. Okay, so as you can see right now, the settings aren't perfect. It does an okay job, but there's still this strange brown shape here. So I'm gonna just change some of these fill settings. And you might just have to play around, and it takes some time to think through it. So let's go up to very high for color adaptation. Okay, that's still pretty messed up. Maybe we'll go, let's see, full for color adaptation, or rotation adaptation, sorry. All right, still thinking, that's fine. And then let's turn on scale and mirror. While that's thinking, I'll take you through what these are. If you turn on scale, it's really great for resizing images for repeating patterns in the background. So for example, you can see the bricks. If you turn on scale, it'll make sure all the bricks that it replaces it with will all be the same size, thus looking realistic. And then mirror is really nice for things that have, like it says, horizontal symmetry. So in this example, it's adding one of the eyes back into the bear because it is horizontally symmetrical. And as you can see, it turns out pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but if you just were looking at this stock image, you might not think a phone was ever there. Photoshop magic. I think on the first day I said I was a Photoshop mage, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so just to make this super perfected as much as we can in the next couple minutes, I'm gonna show you another little way to retouch images. and that's using the clone stamp tool. The hotkey for that is S, and it does what it says it's going to do. It's going to take a little portion of the image, say up here, and it's going to stamp it where you want it to. So the way that you pick the area that you want to sample from is you hover. I'm holding down Option or Alt if you're on a PC, and you'll notice the crosshair changes. I'm clicking to sample, and then when I move my cursor around, you'll notice that it is still holding the sample that I took. And from there, you can paint. And if I move over to the right, it's going to move over to the right as well. And as I mentioned before, I have my opacity turned down. I'm using a really soft brush. My flow's turned down because I don't want to do anything too stark. This is kind of like airbrushing. Got to be really careful. Okay, awesome. Something that we also think about when we're making mockups, like if we're making mockups for the tutorials we post on adobe.com, we try to think about the focal point of the in-context image and if there's anything else competing for attention. So for example, the screen is the focal point and it's the brightest thing. So if there's anything else that's super bright, we might want to tone it down a little bit so the eye doesn't go there instead of going to the screen. So I noticed back here there is some nice kind of bokeh-esque highlights going on. So let's just darken those a tiny, tiny bit. Not heavy-handed at all, just a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to use the burn tool. This goes back to analog photography if you're dodging or burning on the actual negative when you're making prints. So burning is going to add darkness. You'll see if I draw, it adds darkness. And then dodging is going to overexpose, so add light. So I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. I'm going to make sure I'm on burn because we want to turn down the brightness a little bit. And I'm going to make sure highlights is selected because we're burning some highlights. I'm going to turn the exposure down a lot. Like I said, not heavy-handed. And I'm just going to click a little bit, add a little bit of darkness. Now you might like these super bright highlights and it might work well for you. Totally fine, personal preference, but just giving you an option as you're building your own mockups to know that you can totally customize them however you want. Okay, this is looking good. Let's get this exported, uploaded on the Behance. Oh, this is big. Let's size this down quite a bit. That should work. Export it. That's photography talk right there. I took one darkroom class once. I know what I'm talking about. All right, so this is day 5. Dunzo. Save it. And let's get this up to Behance. Oh, Tim's beautiful tutorial. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go to my profile. Let's edit my project. Yes, it didn't log me out. Behance, you rock. Editing. You've done dodge and burn. Have you actually used the little tools? Very cool. So here's all of our projects. Love it. It's really cool to see how day 2 we made the logo, day 3 we made the composite with the logo, and day 4, and then 5 we are doing the mock-up with everything. It's like a 3-day project. Very cool. Alrighty. Day 5, please. Back in the dinosaur days, Marcia. That's awesome. Does anyone do darkroom photography in the chat? All right, we have day 5. Mock-up. Save it. Perfect. And then when we check it out, we should see that it is live on my portfolio. So that's the culmination of our 3-day project. Did you even know that you were doing a 3-day project? Did we sneak it up on you? It's really awesome to have a series and to show your process. So that's kind of also a point behind this, showing how one thing starts and ends up in a finished piece. Very cool. I'd love to see your social media banners actually be branded all over with Level Up. So maybe you make a little icon here, and maybe you make a fake post for here. Really cool. Oh, Sue did also? Nice. Lots of analog photographers in the chat. It's great. So I only have about a minute and a half left, but I do want to let you know that you can look at each other's projects if you search PS Daily Challenge in the search bar and filter it by most recent. These are some awesome examples of work from day 4. But like I said, I am going to be in the voice chat at 11 a.m. Pacific time, so in about 2 hours. So in design feedback, if you post your work from today or even from Friday, in the chat between now and then, at 11, I'm gonna jump on voice chat and I'm gonna work through feedback from top to bottom, get through as many as I possibly can in about 15 minutes. So I'll take about 15 minutes to do so. So we're just trying this out, seeing how it's gonna be. It's gonna be fun to follow along. These are all really impressive. Love seeing these cool characters. This is from Madeline. Very cool. Composite. I love the outer glow here. It's not too stark, but it gives definite kind of focus on the character. Although I'm not sure if you need this one, because she's right here. It's almost got like a Mufasa Lion King thing going on where he's in the sky talking to Simba. Okay, never mind. Alrighty, so I'm gonna jump off here right now, but like I said, I'm gonna be in voice chat at 11, so make sure you come back in about 2 hours on the Discord channel. After me, Paul is gonna be on talking about Adobe XD, because Adobe Live this week is focused all around screen design, web design, UI, UX. It's very, very cool, and if you've never tried it before, you might wanna stick around and just learn a little bit about it. I'm not a UI UX designer, but I think it's really important. It's an interesting way of design thinking. So stick around for that, and I will talk to you all at 11. Very cool. See you tomorrow. Bye.